Howdy, howdy. Oh, that's a little low. Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show.
Oh, yeah?
On a Monday where we're connecting.
We are connecting. That's the name of our Wi-Fi, if
Yeah.
you guys are interested. Boy, it's bright in here.
It is bright in here. All the lights are on.
Oh, well, that's why. Let's turn off the lights. I like the mood lighting. There we go. Watch this. Bang!
Bam. That's how technology
We did
works.
it. Hello. Welcome on to the pre-show before the free show. I'm your congenial host. Oh, my gosh. Greg Tepper. Oh, yeah, that's much better. See, that's just like sets the mood. You're just like, hey, welcome on in to your, just, sitting by a fire, talking football. That's what we do here. We're just hanging out.
I just absolutely bodied that trash can. I should have stiff-armed it.
The trash can?
Yeah.
You think the trash can is the
It's in my way.
the greatest threat to
needs to get
this
out.
show is the trash can that boy, I never use it. I just leave my crap here.
Yeah. It's your trash can that I throw your trash into. That tends to be.
I think that's an inaccurate.
That tends to be what happens
Description of what's
around these
what's
parts.
been going on. I watched a film this weekend.
Did you?
I actually watched a film for the second time this weekend.
Oh, okay.
You know what I watched?
What'd you watch?
I watched the Bob's Burgers movie.
Nice.
It's on HBO Max. I think it's also on Hulu. I watched it. Guys, it's the best and most important film of 2022. It's really good.
I didn't even know that they came out with it.
This year's Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay.
Yes.
That's high praise.
I am a Bob's Burgers fan. Bob's Burgers has more puns per minute than any show in American history.
This is true.
It's spectacular.
Go
ahead.
Was I talking to you about this the other day? I know it was Ish and Mallory on the way back from San Antonio. We had I was in a social media class in college, and for part of our curriculum, watching Bob's Burgers was a big part of our curriculum. It was great.
Spectacular.
Like, go to broadcasting school, because broadcasting school is super fun school.
Yeah.
You don't take tests.
I was on,
You just do projects.
I was on newspaper side, which was bad idea.
Yeah, that's gross. Broadcasting school is fun. One time my final, I made a how-to video on how to make a Christmas sweater. Yeah. Education.
We have degrees from accredited institutions.
And then you get to be on a mediocre internet show.
I don't think you should be telling on the North. We love our friends at the North Texas Broadcast Journalism Department. I don't know if you should be telling on them.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's the best journalism. It's the best.
School here. I don't know.
It's great. It's great. I feel like I've been relatively successful.
So
I've got some bona fide stuff to show.
So Bob's Burgers is a spectacular show, and I certainly recommend it to anybody and everybody. But there's always been one thing that's always one comment that they made on a show, boy, years and years and years ago. It's been going like 12 seasons now. So one of the characters, one of Bob's daughters, Tina's very boy crazy. Okay?
Yes.
She's like, I think she's like an 8th grader, like 7th grader, 8th grader. She's very boy crazy.
What's the phrase you always use? Boys from out of town, or boys from other schools?
That's what I was going to say.
Ah, gotcha.
So, she's very boy crazy. And she's got a boy that she's really after named Jimmy Jr., who's got a friend Zeke. It's a whole thing. Anyway, but she always said, she had some comment about how one of the most powerful forces in the universe is BFOs.
Yeah, there we go.
BFOS. It's boys from other schools. And in a lot of ways, if you think back to that time in your life.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
That was one of the most mysterious things. For me, it was GFOs. For you, it was BFOs.
Yeah.
Of the idea of you would encounter, like if you go to summer camp, for example. You go to summer camp and you would meet boys or girls from other schools.
Yeah.
And in your brain, they're just like, they exist.
Yeah.
They exist. But when you come face to face, there's an extra level of intrigue. They're like, they go to an entire different school. I bet they go to a different Dairy Queen.
Oh, yeah.
I bet they
they do everything. We all shop at the same Walmart, but they're different,
They're different. They go to their other schools. There's an extra level.
It also makes the hotness scale
100%.
infinitely skyrocket.
100%.
Like you could have the hottest guy in your 7th grade class standing next to very, very mediocre, not hotter person from 20 minutes down the road, and instantly hot scale goes up.
To paraphrase, to use a current meme, he's a 6, but he goes to a different school.
Yeah, exactly. You know I mean? Exactly. It's like, he's a 9.
He's a 9. Yeah. Anyway, seek out the Bob's Burgers movie. It also has a cameo by my all-time favorite Bob's Burgers character, Little King Trashmouth.
Oh, very nice.
Little King Trashmouth is
that's very comparable to Mr. Poopy Butthole from Rick and Morty.
But Little King Trashmouth is a raccoon that lives in the dumpster behind Bob's Burgers, and he's got a husband, and it's a whole thing.
Nice.
Plays Little King Trashmouth. I have a mug with Little King Trashmouth on him.
Oh, nice. Tomorrow, a reminder for tomorrow's pre-show. I'm watching Righteous Gemstones.
Tomorrow, Ashley Pickle's review of The Righteous Gemstones.
I'm not completely done yet, but I'm pretty deep. I think I'm on season 2 now because Eric Andre's in it.
Eric Andre's in it. Yeah. You've arrived. Has Nick Jonas Joe Jonas showed up?
Yes, I just watched that episode when they go down to Texas and he's dancing.
Joe Jonas is there. We will have a deep dive.
They're casual friends with celebrities.
We'll have a deep dive into Ashley Pickle's thoughts on A Righteous Gemstones tomorrow on the pre-show. But for now, hit the theme expo. Pickle! Hit the air sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all of the places, or you listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of thy choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dork. She's back. She's
back.
Ashley Pickle.
By not popular demand. I am back. Hello. Welcome.
I don't know.
Someone did. Ryan Smiga said, "Pickles back!" Exclamation mark.
Mallory did a fine job filling in on Friday.
She did. What I love the most. I did watch the show from home. What I loved the most was her calling you out about going to the game, and then she followed up with it by putting it on Twitter, like a Thursday game.
Here's
I
the
was
thing.
pumped about that.
So I just made the comment about how I might try to go, because you guys are going to go out to East Texas, right? You're going to try to go. Are you going to try to go to Beckville-Timpson? You might.
I might. I for sure will be spending the entire Saturday at a triple header. So
you might have Bally things to do.
I might have Bally things to do. I might be. That's week 1, so I might be prepping on Thursday. Yeah. But I'm going to be at 3 games on Saturday.
I might mess around and try to go to this Beckville-Timpson game on Thursday.
Yeah, I want to.
I got to get approval from the boss, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't mean Adam.
Yeah.
But so I made that point, and Mallory's like, "Oh, he's going to go to a game." It's like, y'all, I go to Thursday night games.
Yeah.
Like often, I just I've gone to last year we went to El Paso. Mm-hmm. And then I think I took my wife to 2 football games.
Yeah.
I go to games.
It's the running joke. I think it just keeps going.
I go to Thursday games, but I'm also,
because I can tell you. Well,
we also got some plans for watch-alongs, right? Which will be on Thursdays, including we had a big commit this week. You remember?
Yes.
We got a big commit for a watch-along. Mm-hmm. But I do go to games. It's just that Friday when most of the games are, I'm chained to the desk.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Anyway.
Well, that seems like a you problem.
Today is Monday, July 25th, 2022, 122 days to Thanksgiving. Happy 36th birthday to Hulk.
Nice.
Do you know who Hulk is?
Short guy with the brown hair. The actor that plays Hulk?
No.
Oh.
Brazilian soccer player Hulk.
Oh, no. I was thinking of the guy. What's the guy's name that plays Hulk? He's cool. I like him.
Don't know. His real name is Givanildo Vieira de Souza, but he goes by Hulk. Happy
That
birthday
is a lot easier to say.
Happy birthday to Brazilian striker, or winger rather, Hulk. Episode 1421. On today's show, my friends, we've got headlines from across the state, including high school football coaching changes in the past 7 days.
Y'all gotta chill, man. Figure it out.
Back half of the show, I caught up with the new head coach at Jasper, Kendrick Crumedy, and I don't care if you are a Jasper fan, if you are not a Jasper fan, if you've never heard of Jasper, you want to stay tuned for this interview with Kendrick Crumedy. It is spectacular. He will make you want to run out and buy a Jasper Bulldogs t-shirt. He is all in on his Bulldogs, and so we're excited to talk with him. I'm excited for you guys to hear our interview with Kendrick Crumedy, the new head coach at Jasper, coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door, Mademoiselle?
We sure do. Tony Blaylock came in with a yeet, Nick Morton, Aaron Arbuckle with a yeet, and Rob Hadaway. Welcome in, fellas. Yeet!
Y'all got to stop.
Keep it going.
You're only enabling her.
That's what we want.
You're only enabling her. Okay. Let's get into some headlines from across the state of Texas. It's been a while since we've done this, and there's not a ton going on, but there are some noteworthy things that I would say are worth mentioning in the past 7 days or so. One of them is we got to start with a crappy story.
Yeah.
And that is the story of Anais Smith, the receiver for Texas A&M, who was supposed to go to SEC Media Days. He was going to be a member of the consortium of Texas A&M to go to SEC Media Days. But instead, on last Wednesday, he was arrested early Wednesday on charges of driving while intoxicated, unlawful carrying of a weapon, and marijuana possession less than 2 ounces. He was booked and released on bail for $8,000. At 2:15 a.m., he was stopped for speeding, given a sobriety test, and he was determined to be intoxicated. With the probable cause, they were able to search his vehicle, in which they found a rolled joint of marijuana and a gun with a full magazine and a round chambered during the search of the car. Anais Smith was supposed to be a really big part of the A&M offense, and we figured he was going to be one of the top targets on the outside. One would suspect he's been suspended by A&M policy. He's been suspended for now. They said they're looking into the situation. He didn't go to SEC Media Days, obviously. Maybe that's not obvious, but yeah, he didn't go to SEC Media Days. And so, yeah, we'll wait to hear what the punishment is going to be. I would expect it'll be somewhere between 2 to 4 games. That's kind of my read on the situation. Generally speaking, knowing how these things tend to go, I would say Anais Smith will probably be out for 2 to 4 games for A&M to start the season. So Anais Smith, thumbs down to that story. Bad story, not good. Let's stay with A&M and stay with what happened at SEC Media Days. I think Media Days are fun to attend. Mm-hmm. And, like, if you're there, you can get good content. But, like, as far as news coming out of it, there's not a lot.
I'll tell you what, Media Days...
It's talking time.
I was going to say, Media Days are great for fun interviews and then also for us media brethren to talk with each other. Like, that... It's great networking for us. Yeah. I don't know what that really gives normal people.
It's good networking. And, like, for example... I guess we can tell you this. Thursday, we're going to be at Lone Star Conference Media Days. So if you want to have us, we're going to do live interviews with players from Angelo State and West Texas A&M and UT Permian Basin and Midwestern State.
Which means that the time of the show is moving.
It is. It's going to be 1:30 instead of noon. We'll talk about that more over the course of today and tomorrow and Wednesday. But there's not a whole lot of news that really comes out of Media Days. It's just a lot of, hey, it gets you geeked up for football, right? So Jimbo Fisher was at SEC Media Days in Atlanta, and he was asked about any lingering tensions between him and Nick Saban. Now, you may remember that he and Nick Saban had a, let's call it a spat. I
seem to have that, back in the memory bank.
A spat about that they bought, that A&M bought every player on their recruiting class, blah, 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 and Jimbo Fisher fired back and all this stuff. He was asked about it. The quote was from Jimbo Fisher. He basically says that there's no lingering ill will towards Nick Saban. He says, quote, "We saw each other at SEC media meetings. I have great respect for Nick, had a great friendship with Nick." Interesting Interesting.
Whatever.
Interesting use of tense. Had a great friendship with Nick. I respect him very much, and we all learn from different circumstances in which we have. And I have no ill will. I have no ill will. No anything to him. I have great respect when we coached. I have great respect when we coached and done a lot of great things together. We're from the same part of the country. You know what I'm saying? But we never talked like that. We never called or talked or did anything. We're just like we always were. Unfortunately, our thing went public. Sometimes that happens in this world. Nothing is private anymore. It is it. End quote. So they're probably going to be done. Here's what's probably
That's not
here's
fun
what probably
though. Keep it going.
I understand. But if you want my that is what he said. If you want me to tell you my read on the situation, Greg Sankey from the SEC went to both of them and said, "Y'all knock it off."
Yeah.
Y'all knock it off because we don't want the NCAA sniffing around on recruiting things, and we don't want them. We would prefer to keep a low profile. So y'all knock it off. Take each other's names out of each other's mouths. Because
everything about Texas A&M and Alabama says low key.
Well, exactly. So y'all knock it off. Yeah. No more infighting. Because the thing the SEC has done particularly well is that they have gotten everybody on the same page.
Oh yeah.
They've always moved as one. They've always operated as one.
Well,
you don't want there to be dissension within the ranks of two of your most high profile participants.
No. And especially
I promise you, the commissioner at those meetings was like, "Y'all are done.
Yep.
This is not going any further. You do not comment on one another at all."
Well, and especially they're looking forward to the future in the way that college football is going, the Premier League of college football. So he's going, hey, we're right on the cusp of all this, and then you can have all the money in the world. Keep your mouth shut.
Why don't we chill?
Yeah.
Why don't we chill? Y'all can snipe at each other in text messages. If
exactly.
You want, nothing goes public. Okay.
Still not fun.
We mentioned this a couple weeks ago, but I'll mention it now. Now it's taking the next step. The Division I college football players would have 2 periods of time, one in the winter and one in the spring, to enter the transfer portal and be immediately eligible to play if a proposed rule change gets final approval. The Division I count, we talked about this. Transfer window rules transfer portal windows may become a new policy. Right now, you can basically enter the transfer portal anytime you want. Now, the deadline to be eligible for 2022 has passed, but you can enter it right now and be eligible in 2023. That has created quite a revolving door for rosters.
Yep.
You never know who's going to enter the transfer portal when, this, that, and the other. But the Division I Council endorsed on Tuesday several of the Transformation Committee's initial proposal and passed them on to the official board for approval. They've taken the next step. It's coming. It's going to get approved. And what's going to happen is that the transfer window or the transfer portal is going to be open for about I don't know. I never saw a couple of a list. It would be 60 days.
Okay.
I think it would be. Or rather it will last 45 days, and then there will be another one from May 1 to May 15.
So collective
60. So collectively 60 days in which
45 and then 15.
Yeah. To say I want to transfer. And so that's going to be coming. We probably thought that was coming anyway, simply because the transfer portal had kind of gone haywire of everyone just transferring whenever they wanted to, and coaches and programs need to have a little bit more stability. And so the transfer portal windows are almost certainly coming. Let's move to high school. And this was something, and maybe while I was in COVID hell, I missed this. But did you see what went on in there was a pretty big coaching change at the 2A level while I was kind of gone, and that is that Post, who played for a championship, you may remember, a couple of years ago,
and made it to the semifinal. Well, that was the same year.
Has a new coach. So Jeff Cordell was the head coach at Crane, Golden Cranes. He stepped down after 3 seasons, went 25-8, did a great job there. Jeff Cordell did at Crane. They have hired Michael Pittman from Post. Michael Pittman was spectacular, led them to back-to-back title game appearances in 2019 and 2020. He's 77-28 at Post. A good friend of Dave Campbell's Texas football. Happy for him. He has now taken the job at Crane. That happened in July. He moved there. Post has now hired Decatur defensive line coach and Snyder native John Wright to be the next head coach. He got hired on July 12th. July 12th. Things are moving kind of crazy. Okay. We also, did you know this? Did you know we had a coaching change during coaching school?
Who was it? I knew all about the post stuff. We had talked about that when you were gone.
Oh, I did. I must have missed that. I was not watching the show.
Yeah, it's because you hate us. We get it.
Correct. We had a 5A coaching change during coaching school.
Who was it?
Medina Valley.
No, I missed this one.
Lee Crisp stepped down during coaching school. After 3 seasons there at Medina Valley, they have promoted their defensive coordinator, Danny Sanchez, to take over the Panthers heading into 2022. That is a 5A Division I program that is changing coaches on July 22nd.
Man, he must have heard something at coaching school and said, you know what? No, I'm done.
July 22nd.
Yeah, that's wild.
Okay, and then one other thing, and I want to talk about, we don't talk a ton about this program, probably because they are one of the smallest 11-man programs in the state. Let's talk about the Angoras of Rock Springs.
All right.
Okay, the Angoras of Rock Springs have had a wild 2022. So, let's go back, and we're going to talk a little bit about what happened in 2020.
Okay.
In 2020, they had a coach by the name of, is that right? He was there in 2019, I suppose. 2019, 2020, 2021.
Okay.
Sean Berry. Sean Berry was the head football coach and boys athletic coordinator at Rock Springs.
Okay.
He had a weird thing where he was at center point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He from what I understand, he broke his contract with Centerpoint in a weird way that led to him having his educator certification suspended for 1 year beginning on February 21st, 2021. Or 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me on this. So there was, he continued to work for Rock Springs ISD, and there wasn't a complaint filed with them until after.
And he was the head coach at that time.
Head coach
of the 2019 season and the 2020.
Correct.
And you can't be a coach without an educator certificate.
So a whole lot of weird stuff's going on with Sean Berry.
We're one of the only states that does that.
By the way, reported by our friend Amy McDaniel of the San Angelo Standard-Times.
Ah, very nice.
All that stuff's going on, right? Wild stuff. So, long story short, this past year, or after his 3 seasons there at Rock Springs, he goes 18-14, pretty good.
Yeah.
And he resigns or he departs after three seasons. They promote their offensive coordinator John Pena on February 2nd.
Okay.
Cool.
Are those 2 seasons still counting towards UIL records or not because he doesn't have a certificate?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's asked the UIL to get involved in this. Probably because they just haven't won all that much.
Right.
18-14 is good, but they're not playing.
It's not. Yeah, you're not in a state semifinal with a.
So they promote offensive coordinator John Pena February 2nd. You're probably asking me why on July 25th are you bringing this up?
Nah, keep going.
In early July, Pena resigned due to personal reasons.
Whew.
And then they promoted their defense coordinator Lamar Rodriguez.
So he was the coach for 3 months.
For 3 months. So they went from Sean Berry, who was there under kind of strange circumstances.
For 3 years.
Then move on to John Pena, the offensive coordinator.
For 3 months.
Who was there for 3 months. And now they have their third coach in 7 months there at Rock Springs in Lamar Rodriguez, as he was promoted head coach.
That's wild.
Anyway, fun times in Rock Springs, Texas. Wild story there in Rock Springs, but they have a head coach and defense coordinator, Lamar Rodriguez. I had missed that.
Oh, Step says as long as he's a full-time employee of the district, then it's fine. So I guess you can work for the district, but not the...
I guess that's right.
That doesn't... Okay.
It's a weird thing. I don't know.
Wild.
They said it was up in the air, this whole thing with Rock Springs, but anyway.
We've landed on a coach for now.
Congratulations to Lamar Rodriguez. He is the new head coach at Rock Springs. We are Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Scan that QR code. Okay, here's an update on magazines. I got an email this morning.
Oh, good.
If you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe, we'll drop one in the mail for you today. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
We'll drop it in the mail to you. We're usually about 2-3 day turnaround right now, so you can get there pretty quick.
I was 6 to say, and we don't have many left, so if you want it, jump on it now.
TexasFootball.com/subscribe. You also get a year's worth of exclusive online content. Scan that QR code, TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Okay? You got that. The other thing about this, we've got an update from our printer. They are rolling on the printer.
Mm-hmm.
We are still looking at the first week in August to hit shelves across the state of Texas. The first week in August. So if you're waiting to pick it up at Walmart, Brookshire's, H-E-B, Barnes & Noble, the normal place you pick up Dave Campbell's Texas Football, we're still looking at early August. Now, the good news is that there has been no change to that. Sometimes they fall behind, sometimes the printer breaks, things like that. But so far, so good. We are still on track for magazines to be hitting newsstands across the state of Texas first week in August. So that would be hopefully middle of next week.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Yeah. Middle of next week is when we're looking at that. So we're at a no news is good news part of our process, where it's like we don't want them to say, hey, if we get an email from our printer at this point, it's probably not going to be, things are going great.
Right.
But so far, so good. Things are going very, very well. So TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Let's talk about our friends at Athletes to Athletes. Every high school athlete wants to play on the big stage, and every parent wants their child to be the best. But is making your target list of schools based only on top 25 rankings really the best strategy? What about academics or location or coaching style? What about financial aid? There's a lot of factors that should be considered when selecting a college program outside of just on-field performance. Our friends at Athletes to Athletes have put together a recruiting guide centered around providing a broader, more holistic perspective about what your college experience could be. It's got checklists, do's and don'ts, key strategies, and much more. It's a 22-page guide covering everything you and your family should know, walking through your college recruiting journey. And for a limited time, Athletes to Athletes is offering this guide for free to our audience. So go to athletesToAthletes.com/Dave Campbell today to download the free college recruiting guide. That's athletesToAthletes.com/Dave Campbell. Or scan that QR code. Also, maybe you don't have a player in your, like a son who's currently in the recruiting process, but maybe you know someone who does. Download it and just forward it to them.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like, to me, that's like a nice service. Be like, hey, by the way, I heard about this. This may be something that could help you on your recruiting guide. Because we get emails all the time from people. It's like, how do I get recruited? How do I navigate this process? Here's a free recruiting guide. To athletesToAthletes.com/Dave Campbell. Download it and send it to somebody in your life, because I promise you, everybody listening has somebody who has those questions right now. athletesToAthletes.com/Dave Campbell, or scan that QR code for our friends at Athletes to Athletes. Get the free ultimate guide to understanding college recruiting. Pickle. Last week we were in San Antonio for the Texas High School Coaches Association annual convention and coaching school. More than 15,000 coaches.
More than 16,000.
Oh, more than 16,000. I've been corrected. More than 16,000, thank you. Coaches from across the state of Texas descended upon San Antonio. One of them, the new head coach of the Jasper Bulldogs, Coach Kendrick Crumedy. I had never spoken with Coach Crumedy. Actually, I think maybe I'd spoken with him, but this is the first time as a head coach.
Not in an interview, yeah.
You're going to want to buy some Jasper Bulldog gear after listening to this young man. Here is my conversation with Jasper head coach Kendrick Crumedy here on Texas Football Today.
Greg Tupper, Dave Campbell's Texas Football on TexasFootball.com, here at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention in San Antonio, talking with the new head Bulldog in Jasper, Coach Kendrick Crumedy. Coach, first and foremost, first time we've seen each other since you got the job, so congratulations on the new gig.
Thank you so much. I'm just glad to be here. I'm blessed. Good Lord saw fit for me to be there, and I'm excited to see what I can do.
Well, and you're coming home to Jasper, and I know I have to imagine, you're an alum, you're a guy who knows that program and inside and out. I have to imagine that the call that, yeah, you're the guy was a pretty cool moment.
It was awesome. I actually interviewed on my birthday, on my 37th birthday.
Oh, wow.
The day of, and when I left the room, I knew I had the job. I just felt it in my spirit. And I cried half the way home because I was terrified. It's going home. Anytime you go home, there are expectations that you have to meet. And being a kid that grew up there and understand the kids, and being on some of those elite teams that were in Jasper, because we had one heck of a run from 2001 to probably about 2006, and I was the group that went 24-4 that started that run. And the expectations are high. Both of my parents still live there. My mom works at the Walmart, so she hears it all. And my dad lives out in the country and rides his horses, but he hears it all. But it's just so fun because the kids are buying in. They love having one of their own there. And so where some coaches will have to go through to get kids to buy in, I could look at them in the face and say, hey, I worked out in the same weight room as you did. I worked across the street at the bus barn as my first summer job, getting muddy and oily, washing buses, then had to walk across the street to lift in this weight room with no air conditioner, and then had to go out here and run on this grass field. Y'all have turf now. We've upgraded. But it's going to be fun. The kids are excited. Heck, I think I'm more excited than anybody else.
The thing you're describing, that authenticity. You know what I mean? Like you can't buy that. You can't really, you got to earn that, and you've got that through just being Jasper Bulldog and understanding that. And so I have to imagine that when you have these conversations with your players, that you are coming to them from a place of, I've been here. I've done that. I've been. This is who I am. Like I bleed this. This bulldog blood.
Instant credibility.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Kirk Martin hired me at Manville. I love Kirk. Kevin Hall is a Jasper guy who's the head coach at Manville now. Kept me on staff. He's like, you can't go nowhere. Then he encouraged me to get the Jasper job. He said, I'm too old to do it now. You need to go do it. And it's funny because I still wear my Jasper gear everywhere. Even when I worked at Manville, if I was going to go scout somewhere or if I was just out and about, I had on a Jasper hoodie. My uncle was the track coach there that broke the national record and all that. So I love that place a different type of way.
If it makes sense. Giving us trouble.
Oh, I like shoes, Coach. I got on some ones. Dark Shadow. I see you.
I got the Air Force Ones on, so we're good.
So going home, I felt like it was time. It's something I've been praying for, and it's funny that you tell the good Lord your plans, and he laughs and tell you his. Because I never dreamed I would have been a Jasper boy, that I would have went back home, especially not at 37. I was like, Jasper gets that negative connotation of being a racist town. It's definitely not. And with all the Jamesburg Jr. and all that, I actually grew up on the exact road he was drug on, my dad's farm. And so I saw all that and I experienced all that, and Jasper's not that place. So for me to go home, I get a lot of, why are you going to Jasper? Jasper raised me. It made me tough. There are things that we learned in Jasper, Texas that you can't learn nowhere else. And with the kids, they love that part. I think they love that part most about me. I could be authentic with them and say, hey, we have a unique set of circumstances here in Jasper, Texas that other people don't deal with, that the outside world doesn't. They think we're racist here and we're not. They think we're backwards here, and we're not. We're just as intelligent, and we deserve everything other people deserve. You can make it from a place like this. These 45-pound bars, guess what? Just because it's not in a covered facility or it's not in an air-conditioned indoor facility, doesn't mean those 45-pound bars weigh any less.
Yep.
Those 45-pound bumpers weigh the same. Our 100-yard field is 53 and a third wide, just like everybody. Let's go to work. We're going to get after it. We're going to make the absolute best out of every situation that we have because that's who we are. That's what's ingrained in our DNA. In Jasper, Texas, a kid to get up, feed his horses before he go to school in the morning, go to school all day, go to football practice, and then go home and throw hay bales and feed his horses again. He might hop on his four-wheeler. He might go fishing and swimming in the creek. And I absolutely love it. Some mornings our kids show up in cowboy boots and Nike shorts, and I love it. I kid you not. I love it. You walk into Walmart, everyone knows your name. You go sit down in a restaurant, somebody will come play your tab. And they just want to know about y'all. Well, what are we doing? It's not what are y'all doing. It's a what are we doing? And I love that part about it.
It's a unique community, in that sense that it's still very much a small town, and that this is your first head coaching job. Every coach is just kind of takes something from the guys that they coached with. You mentioned Kevin Hall, a guy who's a Jasper guy. What are you going to take from him that you're gonna put on your coaching style?
What I'm getting from Kevin Hall is his structure. He believed in holding people accountable, and he was very, very, very structured. He would have the hard conversations and put you in uncomfortable situations to make you grow. He wants you to grow as a coach. He really does. And I'm going to use that because we're going to use some things he did on defense because he was very simple on defense but unique, and he got kids in positions to make plays. From Kirk, I'm going to take Kirk. Servant leadership and love for kids. He absolutely loved kids. He would counsel a practice for us to go to a volleyball game. He said, look, we're going to support our kids. These are our kids. So that's what I loved about him. He was a kid first, athlete second guy. He believed in FCA. He believed in giving people the chances. He was a guy for him, man. He always talked about magnifying the opportunities that you had. And if you magnify the opportunities you have, you'll be rewarded with more. So I want to use those things for both of those guys.
All right, and finally, you're about to coach or be a head coach for the first time, first game. So people may not know, what is a Kendrick Crumedy, team going to be about? What are you guys going to hang your hat on?
We're going to be Jasper kids, and the kids are really brought into it. And what it means to be a Jasper kid, it means no matter what, we're not going to back down. We're going to line up, and whether you're bigger, faster, stronger, we're going to fight you tooth and nail. And simply because that's who we are. That's who we were raised to be, and that's going to flow in our veins. We want to play hard. We're going to be tough. We're going to play hard. We're going to be who we're supposed to be. We're going to hit you in the mouth. That's what we're known for. That's what Jasper's always been. And I mean, that's not an arrogance thing. That's not a bragging thing. You could turn on the tape, and if nothing else, a Jasper kid could run, and a Jasper kid would hit you.
Yep.
And we're going to keep doing those things.
That's when I think of Jasper football, I think of football players striking their opponent. Like, they strike them. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, for me, Jasper football is physical football. It is. Get after your rear end football.
It's going to be a little flashier than it's ever been. I mean, because I'm a young energy guy. I think the good Lord blessed me with the ability to motivate. And I mean, I love scheme and all that, but I think kids play hard when they're inspired, and I think that's something that I bring to the table, that our DC brings to the table, Malcolm Brunson and our OC Bo Burleson. They're young, fiery guys, and we're going to be inspirational. We wear J's on the sideline and Warns or Dark Shadows or 11s. We're gonna be we're going to be a little more flashier than some people are comfortable with, but as you've seen, I mean, it's about what your kids love. I love what Coach Todd did at South Oak Cliff with the all-white and his kids. They just believed in a mission, and they had fun doing it. I don't care if you wear 12 wristbands, as long as they're team colors and you're playing football. Now, if you ain't striking nobody, I want you to come out of that. But if you got on 12 wristbands and a towel that's down to your knees, but you are running through people's face and you're catching interceptions and scoring touchdowns and you're having a blast doing it, let's go have some fun.
Kendrick Crumedy, met Coach Jasper. Coach, we're thrilled for you. Can't wait to see your Bulldogs.
Thank you.
There is Kendrick Crumedy, the new head coach at Jasper, and easy to root for him. Easy to root for him, and obviously very passionate about getting back to his hometown, Jasper, and bringing them back to their former glory. He's a guy who knows that program inside and out, and you can tell how much it means to him to be the head coach of his alma mater, and that's pretty darn cool. So keep an eye on them Bulldogs. I think they're going to be fun to watch, and with a guy like guy like Kendrick Crumedy at the helm, they're going to be doing big things sooner as opposed to later. So we appreciate his time at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment, The Final Thoughts.
We mentioned it earlier, but we'll kind of specify on this. So Thursday, fun show on Thursday. We will not be going live at noon. We'll be going live at 1:30 because we will be at Lone Star Conference Media Days.
Yeah, over there in McKinney. The house that Marcus Shavers built, will be at Lone Star Conference Media Days. We'll be talking with. Actually, I have a list. Do you want me to read off the list?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, here we go.
It's a long list.
I got a nice email from our friend Melanie over the Lone Star Conference. We're going to get
the GOAT,
Commissioner Jay Perner. Angelo State head coach Jeff Gersh, Angelo State running back Nathaniel Omayebu. I gotta get that right.
We're gonna practice that till Thursday.
He's really good too. Midwestern State head coach Bill Maskell, who I saw at THSCA, and I said I will get you later. Midwestern State's defensive end Malik Owens, A&M Kingsville head coach Michael Salinas, A&M Kingsville offensive lineman Brandon Jackson, UT Permian Basin head coach Justin Kerrigan.
Does he still have the mullet?
We're going to have to see. We're also going to have a return of one of his tight end, Matt Zubiati.
Oh, nice. He was great
guy.
last year.
He's from El Paso Chapin. He's going to come back by West Texas A&M coach Hunter Hughes and West Texas A&M linebacker JT Cavender will all be joining us live on the desk there at the Lone Star Conference Media Days. So it's 1:30.
I legitimately was just like, where's Commerce? And then now I was like,
yeah.
They're not going to, that'll be weird.
They had their WAC Media Day.
Yeah, that'll be different.
The other thing, and then also, so I will be out on Friday, but that's bad news for me and good news for y'all because Friday at noon,
WTF is going to take over because we're not going to be able to do Women Talking Football on Thursday because we'll be at Lone Star Conference Media Days, so it works out well that we will just do it in place of TFT on Friday. So I promise you we'll eventually start getting on a normal schedule, but for now we're just going to keep switching. So WTF live at noon instead of TFT on Friday.
WTF takeover on Friday here at the TFT time slot. So, but we got otherwise we got a normal week. We'll have a show Thursday or tomorrow Wednesday.
We have to plan a show on Wednesday because Grev's on vacation.
Don't worry. I got some plans.
Oh, okay.
Wednesday we'll have a show.
Helpful Honda Mailbag Wednesday.
Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I've got plans. Wednesday we'll have a show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll have Republic of Football on Wednesday as well, live at 2. So make sure you're tuning in to the Dave Campbell's Texas Football family of networks. Right?
We just love talking on microphones.
We bought these microphones. We're going to use them.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're getting our money's worth.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Jasper head coach Kendrick Crumedy for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please meet your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.